We have just completed the first 4 modules of your SMAC, and we're moving on to the next section of your SMAC, which is really the research design, research methodology section of your SMAC. This section consists of many subsections, including data, sample, variables, instrument, fieldwork, and statistical test. Each of these sections must be addressed and then placed under the umbrella heading research design, research methodology. At this point, students should be compiling all the different sections of the SMAC that we have reviewed with my comments. You need to edit those comments and then place it in the order that it is on your SMAC content review so that each of the sections are addressed. You also need to provide me with your title page, table of contents, and the sections that you've already reviewed. Under the research design section that you are beginning to address as of session 5, you will start with your sample. What is this section about? Your sample should be addressing who you will be giving the surveys to fill out in the field, meaning who is your target population. Typically, students need to write a paragraph about it. Your target population must be represented by n equals 50 or more individuals. The larger your sample, the more accurate your results. So you want to shoot for more people because some people will not respond to your survey. So I would like you to shoot for 75, but you need to have a minimum of 50 people in your sample. Samples that you cannot include in your survey include children, prisoners, senior citizens that might have dementia, and patients from a hospital. As per the IRB that all of you should have already reviewed in Canvas, you cannot have anyone of diminished autonomy. So all of these samples must be as highlighted in Canvas. You cannot have patients, you cannot have children. The next section that you'll be covering will be your questionnaire or instrument or survey. The questionnaire will consist of statements, and the statements must reflect all of the variables in your SMAC. For instance, if you're doing a research paper on communication, let's say an analysis of the factors that impact communication at ABC company, you must address all of the variables, including your Y variable, for instance, communication. I would have a statement that states, I believe that the managers at my institution communicate effectively with all of the staff at ABC Hospital. Strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, strongly disagree. And it should be labeled as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So 5 representing strongly agree and 1 representing strongly disagree. You must have a Likert state format, and examples of a survey has been provided to you in Canvas. So follow the directives. The next section lower down we'll be addressing is data. In your research, there are 2 types of data, qualitative data and quantitative data, which we'll be discussing later on. And you're going to have to discuss how you're going to get the data. Most of you must get the data from secondary sources online like EBSCO and ProQuest, those databases, because they must be peer-reviewed journals. They cannot just be journals that you just picked up from Wikipedia. They must be journals with authority and scope, which you'll read in your textbook later on in the class. You've already discussed the theoretical framework. Most of you did a fantastic job on that. I provided you with comments. If you didn't do as well a job, you need to get a theory that really pertains to your study so that you can discuss why it forms the foundation of your investigation. In terms of statistical tests, which we'll be discussing later on, students in the class will be using hypothesis testing, descriptive statistics, and regression. And optionally, students will be taught on how to use correlation analysis. You will be getting extra points for using it. We are now going to be moving on to the preparation for your midterm exam. Your midterm exam is going to be based on you reviewing academic journals. Those academic journals, you hopefully will address also the variables in your SMAC. So Each of your team members should be assigned a variable, and each team member will be communicating with me as to what variable you're addressing, so that each member in the class has a different journal for your midterm. You cannot use in the group the same journals in the midterm. I need to approve the journals on your midterm exam. So I think you should right now assign each individual in the SMAC a variable so that individuals can start collecting journals for me to approve. I must approve the journal before you actually use it for your midterm exam. I will be announcing the date shortly for our midterm review session online. The next section I'm going to just touch on is your literature review section, which is a combination of reviews of academic journals. Each person in the group must have 3 journals that addresses the variable assigned. But only 1 or 2 journals will be used for your midterm. I only need to approve 1 journal for your midterm for question 1 on the midterm, which we will be discussing at the review session for your midterm exam. So the next few sessions will focus on the research design in review. You will have to start preparing the journals for that midterm exam. You need to start mobilizing your group so that everybody knows what variable they're addressing, and you need to contact me as to who is going to address what for your midterm.